boys cook. We're from dollar bills, now we popping rubber bands. Bruno sang to me while I do my money dance. Like, flexing on the gram like, hit that Lil Jon, okay. Oh yeah, we dripping and finesse and getting paid.
Ooh, don't we look good together? There's a reason why they watch all night long. Yeah, I know we'll turn heads forever. So tonight I'm gonna show you off. When I'm walking with you, I watch the whole room change. Baby, that's what you do. No, my baby, don't play. Blame it on my confidence, or blame it on your measurements. Shut down on sight. That's right. We out here dripping in finesse. It don't make no sense. Out here dripping in finesse. You know it, you know. Out here dripping in finesse. It don't make no sense. Out here dripping in finesse. You know.
Take off the slow. Then it must have to make it go. Release the wiggle. Release the wiggle. Release the
You won't break my soul. 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 I'm telling everybody, 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 everybody. Now I just fell in love, and I just quit my job. I'm gonna find no drive. Damn, they work me so damn hard. Work by 9, then off past 5. And they work my nerves, that's why I cannot sleep at night. Motivation, I'm looking for a new foundation, yeah. And I'm on that new vibration. I'm building my own foundation, yeah. Hold up, oh baby, baby, you won't break my soul. 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 I tell everybody, nah, everybody, everybody, everybody.
Release your anger, release your mind, release your job, release the time, release your trade, release the stress, release the love, forget the rest.
I'ma let down my hair, 'cause I lost my mind. B is back and I'm sleeping real good at night. The queens in the front and the doms in the back. Ain't taking no flicks, but the whole click snap. There's a whole lot of people in the house trying to smoke with the yak in your mouth. And we back outside. You said you outside, but you ain't that outside. Worldwide hoodie with the mask outside. In case you forgot how we act outside. Motivation. I found me a new foundation.
We couldn't turn around till we were upside down. I'll be the bad guy now, but no, I ain't too proud. I couldn't be there, even when I tried. You don't believe it. We do this every time. Seasons change and our love went cold. Feed the flame 'cause we can't let it go. Run away while we're running in circles. Run away, run away.
consigue de mí lo que quiera. Quede partida desde la primera. Así es. Hacemos lo que no hace cualquiera y no sale tan bien. Él es el fulanito que me tiene loca a mí, bailando apretadito. Hoy no vamos a dormir. Él es el fulanito que me tiene loca a mí, bailando apretadito hasta que lo bote. Mueve lo que aprieta, neta. Nos gastamos los chavos que tengo en la tarjeta. Mueve lo que aprieta, neta. Me pongo bonita, me pongo coqueta. Solo para ti porque quiero comerte y que todos nos ven. Que todos nos ven. Solo para ti porque contigo tengo lo que otras desean. Así es, papi. Cuando yo me muevo así, se te nota que te gusta y te pone happy. Cuando muerde de esta fruta. Cuando yo me muevo así, se te nota que te gusta y te pone happy. Cuando muerde de esta fruta.
Ladies up in here tonight. No fighting.
We got the refugees
No
up in
fighting.
here.
No fighting. Shakira, Shakira.
Never really knew that she could dance like this. She make a man wanna speak Spanish. Como se llama? Bonita, mi casa.
Shakira, Shakira.
Oh, baby, when you talk like that, you make a woman go mad. So be wise and keep on reading the signs of my body. I'm on tonight, you know my hips don't lie, and I'm starting to feel you, boy. Come on, let's go, real slow. Don't you see, baby, see it's perfect. Baby, I know I'm on tonight, my hips don't lie, and I'm starting to feel it's right. All the attraction, the tension. Don't you see, baby, see it's perfect. Don't really know what I'm doing, but just seem to have a plan. Well, self-restraint, have done to fail now. See, I'm doing what I can, but I can't, so you know that's too hard to explain.
Never really knew that she could dance like this. She make a man wanna speak Spanish. Como se llama? Bonita, mi casa.
Shakira, Shakira.
Oh, baby, when you talk like that, you make a woman go mad. So be wild, so be wild, so be wild.
I'ma get no be so. Yeah, you won't capture my soul. I'ma get no be so. Make you want wumbo lumbo. Better, bye. I'm loose. Even better done the para. Nothing Josie, I'm in Josie. Won't call it for one Josie. I'm not playing with you, I'm not joking. My thought of mom is loaded. You can fuck up, but I'm on duty, but I'm on low-key. They want do me, they want do me, but they want when you won't want me, when you won't want me. I'm in San Francisco, Jammy. When you won't want me, when you won't want me. I just flew in from Miami. Peru, para. I'm loose, even Peru done the para.
Pour out the bottle, I wanna level up. When I'm with you, I never get enough. Slow wine, I'm not in a rush. I can hear music when you're here. Tonight we're rolling, party till closing. Since I put the ring on the finger, it's still frozen. Love in slow motion, I wanna feel you over me, yeah. Certain magic in your eyes, yeah. Girl, I love the way you ride it. And it happens every time you arrive, that's right. Girl, I want you in my life, yeah. There's a heaven and it's right here. I will never leave your side, stay tonight. When you won't see me, I'm in West London this evening. Giving me the feelings, no I'm not leaving till I fly LA next weekend. Peru, nah, girl I'd rather go find somewhere quiet. You glow, and I get lost here in your eyes. I'ma gain, I'll be so. Girl, you just capture my soul. I'ma gain, I'll be so. Make me wanna just take you home. Peru, para. I'm loose, even better done the para.
And I've been living fast life, but I see it in slow. Oh no, and you see my lifestyle, I got G's in the top. See many people there outside where they feed man's oboe. Oh no, and me I stand the defender like Joseph Yobo. My girl say she want Netflix and chill. So I chat ticket even money. If you fall in love, girl is satin. You go to breakfast, I'm not capping. Can you see dripple, I'm not catching. I'm not faking this, no fugazi. You see these feelings, I'm not catching. I'm on quest and feet, I just want it. Happiness. If I broke, now my business. I'ma show you, you go right. All I care for the night. Happiness. If I broke, now my business. I'ma show you, you go right. All I care for the night.
Woman, let me be your woman. Woman, woman, woman. I can be your woman. Woman, woman, woman. Let me be your woman. Woman, woman, woman. I can be your woman. Woman, woman, woman. What you need? She give tenfold, come here, Papa, plant your seed. She can grow right from her womb of family. Provide love you overlooked and unappreciated. You see, you can reciprocate. I got delicious taste. You need a woman's touch in your place. Just protect her and keep her safe. Baby, worship my hips and waist. So feminine with grace. I touch your soul when you hear me say, boy, let me be your woman. Let me be your woman. Woman, woman, woman. I can be your woman. Woman, woman, woman. Let me be your woman. Woman, woman, woman. I can be your woman. Woman, woman, I can be your lady. I'm a woman, I'm a motherfucker, but they got a problem. Put some babies in your life and take away the drama. Put the paper in the picture like a diorama. Gotta face a lot of people that are opposite. Cause the world told me we ain't got the common sense. Gotta prove it to myself that I'm on top of shit. And you would never know a guy without a goddess is honest. Not as good and
Grips on your waist, front way, back way.
They ain't got what's running through these veins. Make way for the king.
Hello and welcome back for Dear World and Many Voices. We hope that you had a phenomenal afternoon engaging in new student symposiums, sharing your story, and capturing your brain tattoo. We look forward to sharing some of those images at the conclusion of our time tonight.
Tonight, we are back to celebrate the diversity of our UMass Amherst community and the beautiful complexity of our stories. Over the next hour, your peers will take to the stage to share their unique voices through a wide variety of expressions, including dance, poetry, stepping, and strolling, woven together with dear world stories and portraits. As we mentioned this morning, this evening's showcase is another point along the learning journey you began months ago when you said yes to joining our UMass Amherst community. In our online guide to the U, you were introduced to campus resources to help you lead, learn, and engage in community. In Ready for the U, you started exploring your place in the UMass community and practice engaging in conversations across differences using the Lara method. Listen, affirm, reflect, add, and ask.
And now, during Welcome to the U, you're putting it all together as you start creating meaningful new connections with your roommates, floor mates, classmates, and UMass staff and faculty in your first days on campus. As a campus community, we are committed to building a community where every individual feels a sense of belongingness. This academic year, the Office of Equity and Inclusion is introducing a new initiative, Belonging at UMass, that seeks to affirm UMass's values of equity, inclusion, and belonging. Belonging can be challenging, but it's something that we strive for at UMass. Cicely, where did you find your belonging on campus?
As a new student, I felt a little bit like a fish out of water at first. However, UMass has so many communities represented on campus, so I quickly tried to find my place. For me, I found my place in Pride Alliance. I came from a small high school in Central Mass, therefore there wasn't a lot of representation for me there. When I began getting involved in Pride Alliance, I felt like I had finally found people I could relate to. Instead of feeling like the odd one out, which I had felt so many times before, I felt like I could finally breathe freely. I even ended up finding almost all of my close friends in that RSO, which is everything you could ever hope for when you come to college. What about you, Emmett?
That was beautiful, Cicely.
Thank you.
I truly felt like I belonged on this campus when I found my people with the UMass Outing Club. I love nature and the great outdoors, and to have met the people who not only share that love with me, but embrace it and are crazy enough to wake up at 2 a.m. to go climb an icy mountain in the freezing winter cold, to see the most beautiful sunrise on a weekday, means the world to me. If that sounds interesting to you, the Outing Club is going on a hike tomorrow morning. In addition to the ways in which we found belonging, this fall semester will kick off with a series of educational and inspiring events, talks, panels, and workshops on this theme, hosted by the Office of Equity and Inclusion in collaboration with campus partners. Through these events, students can connect with new friends, engage with a variety of campus resources, learn about UMass Amherst's commitment to equity, inclusion, and belonging for all. The Belonging at UMass initiative will continue throughout the year.
So, we invite you to cheer, applaud, and bring energy to your peers this evening as they bravely express and share. That's one simple way to affirm others and foster a sense of belonging in our community. In fact, let's show some love right now for our incredible DJ, DJ Trends.
And with that, enjoy the show.
I tried to scream, but my head was underwater. Thought I found a way. Thought I found a way, yeah. Oh, I hope someday I'll make it out of it. Wanna feel alive outside. I can't fight my fear. Isn't it lovely? All alone, heart made of glass, my mind of stone. Tear me to pieces, skin and bone. Hello, welcome home.
She from Bombay, told her say you're from Ghana. Girl, would you be my Bombay? 'Cause I ride for you like a Ghana. She really want be my. Be my
Another big round for Dharak for such an incredible performance. Woo! I know some of you might have seen me earlier today right here at Mullins Center for the Dear World exhibit, and I just want to thank you once again for just keeping such an open heart and an open mind throughout that process. I hope you got to take your portrait today at one of the 4 locations we had set up. You're going to get to see a glimpse of what those portraits look like later on this evening. But to kick us off, as promised, we have found incredible stories, so many incredible stories from you all. And to kick us off, to really get this story sharing going, we have Suhani. Suhani, tell us your story.
19th September 2017, a regular Thursday evening for most of you. That's the day my dada, that's my grandfather, got diagnosed with cancer. I still remember his worrisome face when he snatched the phone from my daddy to say this to my dad. Bobby, don't hide it, just tell me what it is. Cancer, that's what it was. The Indian doctors had told us to not tell my grandfather about his actual condition because of his history with anxiety pills for the past 19 years. One evening, I came from my practice and I saw everyone crowded in his room. Stomachache, that's what he had. The past year, not a single day had passed by when he did not have a stomachache. Not just any kind of stomachache, the abdominal cancer kind. Early into the night, it got worse. Worse to a point his body could not tolerate the pain, and he went unconscious. As my mom laid him back into the backseat of our car to drive him up to the emergency ward, he opened his eyes, looked at me, and smiled. He had been barely conscious for the past 2 hours, but he still opened his eyes just so he could smile at me for one last time. In Indian culture, we often talk about how people have an intuition right before they die. The doctors told us that night that the cancer in his intestine had burst open, obviously causing him the worst pain on earth. Even with all that pain, he looked up and smiled, just for one last time, just for me. As an international student at UMass Amherst, the past year, there have been a lot of times when you feel like you do not belong here. You're alone. But that smile, that's what keeps me going. And I hope you find someone who loves you just as much as my dada did. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for sharing such a heartfelt experience. It's a lot of courage to get up here and go first, so can we give her one more round of applause? All right, and for our next performance, I'm gonna pass it right on over to Ashia.
Good evening, everyone. Please put your hands together for our one and only UMass MPHC fraternities and sororities, also known as the Divine Nine.
Hater, rest in peace to the parking lot. Phantom so big, can't even fit in the parking spot. You ain't talking about my then what you talking about? Gangsters move in silence, and I don't talk a lot. I don't say a word. I don't say a word. Was on my grind and now I got what I deserve. Hold up, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished? When I bought the ass tomorrow, y'all thought it was rented? flexing on these. I'm like Popeye on the spinach, double M, yeah, that's my team. Rose, the captain, I'm lieutenant. I'm the type of kind of men cast and grind like I'm broke. That Lambo, my new, she don't ride like my ghost. I'm riding around my city with my hands on my toes, cause these want me dead, and I gotta make it back home. Cause my mama need that bill money, my son needs some milk. These try to take my life, they around, get killed. You around, you around, you around, get smoked. Cause these Philly I pull with me, don't around, no joke. No, all I know is murder. When it come to me, I got young that's rolling, I got throwing bees. I done did the DOS, I done did the KODs. Every time I'm in that bitch, I get to throwing 30 G's. But now I'm hanging out that drop head, I'm riding down no collars. They let me earn back home, that young be wildin'. We young, we mobbin', like Batman and with Robin. This two-door Maybach with my seat on reclining. I'm like, real wood up, real wood up. If you ain't about that murder game, then shut up. If you look, if you walk, why look? 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 J on the track, why look? If you look, if you look, hey, it's time for all security. Look, if you get around, it's going down.
Yeah, well I'm at home, holding on your damn street, stopping, jumping, bumping, every park off in this damn thing. Throwing the balls up at these soldiers, screaming and bleeding from their nose. But when we start, that's where we make them hit the flow. Ain't no game off in this thing. We be deep off in your party. Call my get it started, and we be the hardest. So if a come and run they mouth just like a punch them dead up in this nose, they stomp this down to the flow.
Yeah, we nucky and bucky and ready to fight. I bet ya I'ma throw them things away, that's best to think twice. See me, I ain't nothing nice. And call my beat, ain't no stopping. Becky like my that's Hussein Killer and that's Osama Bin Laden. Like they said, popping and I am acting a fool. I wish I had a wicked crunk up on this crime my crew. Now enough is enough, why rough and get stuck, why love is a must, why no. If you buck, I'm on white man.
Hey, Mr. White down here, heard me Fox a million. This would be the remix. Badass, savage life, Fox a million. Man, you already know what it is, you heard me? We still riding on chrome. We still pulling up, man, look. I pull up at the club, VIP, gas tank on E, but all drinks on me. White man out. Fresh kicks, fresh white tall tee, fresh NFL hat, fresh bows with the crease. White man out. Wanna hit me with the heat, real recognize, real don't speak. White man out. Chicken laden, I've been rolling by the week. You can tell I got cake by the diamonds in my teeth. White man out. Black shades, so you know what rolling. They ain't check me at the door, so ain't no telling what I'm holding. White man out. Bad they gon' bust it wide open. Flashing in the bread, but I'm the they approaching. White man out. Small, tall figures, y'all crawl. We gon' get the dog. White man out. Y'all call, but my all killers get your issue and whoever fall with. Cause I'm on white man. 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 Cause I'm on white man.
Thank you all so much for that amazing performance. Can they have one more round of applause? That was amazing. For our next amazing group, we're gonna get into insanely prestigious step team.
chambean pero no jalan. Tú compras todas las Jordan, a mí me las regalan.
Another round for IPST. That was insane. It was so good. Up next, our second storyteller for the evening. Give it up, big round of applause for Yuna.
Once upon a time, I decided to go on a trip. It was 2019, and at just 15 years old, I decided that I wanted to go on a mission trip to Mexico for 6 weeks by myself. And for the first time, it wasn't something that my parents had forced me to do or pushed me to do or even suggested that I do. I found this program by myself through a missionary that we knew, and I decided that I wanted to do this. Before, I just did what my parents told me to do, just let them drag me along, didn't have much passion for anything, but this was the first project that I was absolutely determined that I had to do. So that's the main reason that my parents let me go to a foreign country by myself at 15. With their help, I raised funds and got on the plane for the first time by myself. And I was stoked. I had been learning Spanish since the 6th grade, and I was so determined that I would serve the community, and I could translate, and I would have so much fun. But when I got there, I was immediately thrown into the deep end, and I was told to translate. And I froze. I completely forgot all the words. I was surrounded by natives who were speaking Spanish so fast I could barely keep up. And I was terrified of getting it wrong. So I didn't speak Spanish for 2 whole weeks out of the 6 weeks that I was there. I just stayed with the other volunteers and the staff and had difficulty connecting with the other locals. But when I finally decided to open my mouth and just speak, it was fine. The words flew out, and I was speaking so well, and I didn't realize that these people had been dealing with broken Spanish from other Americans their whole lives, that they were complimenting my Spanish skills that I had grossly underestimated. And so then I found my voice, and I had such a great time, and I wish I had just spoken sooner. And that's the reason why I'm standing on this stage today. I want to continue to force myself out of my comfort zone and continue finding my passions and my voice by putting myself in uncomfortable situations. And I want to continue to grow, and I want to speak. Thank you.
What a brave story. Can we give it up for Yuna one more time? And now, it is my pleasure to introduce the amazing UMass task.
That tonight's gonna be
I was left to my own devices. Many days fell away with no city that we love. Great clouds all over the hills, bringing darkness from above. But if you close your eyes,
If I told you this was only gonna hurt, if I warned you that the fire's gonna burn, would you walk in? Would you let me do it first? Do it all in the name of love. Would you let me lead you even when you're blind? In the darkness, in the middle of the night, in the silence, when there's no one by your side, would you call in the name of love? In the name of love, name of love, in the name of love, name of love, in the name of
Es la cosa, mami, es la cosa. El que mira sufre y el que toca goza.
A huge round for Task. I cannot do that. There would be things everywhere if I tried to do that. So that was incredible. That was so beautiful. Our third storyteller for the evening is your very own AJ. AJ, come on in.
Once upon a time, I came home from a vacation I had with 3 other friends. Let's call them Emma, Leah, and James. So once we got back from our vacation, we came to James's house just to hang out, all the 4 of us. Everything went fine, everything went smoothly until at a sudden moment in time, you could just feel the atmosphere change. So what had happened was my friend Emma decided to go out for a walk. She went with her dog and they went out for a little walk outside. Everything felt completely normal. The atmosphere was a little tense, but everything was fine. Until James got a text message from Emma. I didn't know what happened at the time. He went outside to go check her, and we found out that she had a panic attack and fell on the pavement. She was okay. At the time, we believed it was a panic attack, but we actually found out that it was a stress-induced seizure. So when James came back and to tell us this news, Leah decided to go and check out on her, despite James saying, give her the space that she needs. So when she went to go out, she ran out the door to go find her and give her stuff before her parents come and take her home. This upset James, and he started to go out at Leah saying, you know, you never listened to me, especially during the vacation, and you kind of caused the stress that led to her seizure. And when these two started getting at each other, I just noticed things started to break apart. And when this happened, Leah just ran outside and she's like, I need some space. And when I went to go check up on her, I couldn't see anything. It was the middle of the night, and I looked to my right side and I saw towards the garage door, Leah sitting down crying on the floor, and it broke my heart. I had to do something, so I came down, I sat next to her, and I asked her what had happened. And she told me that James has always made her feel like she's always done something wrong. So after talking with her for a little bit, I went inside and I talked to James. He also talked to me about how he's had trouble expressing his own emotions. And after talking with both of them, I knew I had to do something. I can't just let our friendship break apart like this over these arguments. So afterwards, I decided, we need to fix this. So I went up and I tried to make sure that by the end of the day, everyone had a smile back on their face. And after consoling each of them and making sure that everything was all right in the end, I just brought them together. We all talked through it all, and everything was better in the end. So as we walked inside the house, I gave everyone a giant hug, and we are now better off than what we started the day with. And it just, thinking back to this moment, reminded me of what Leah wrote in my yearbook before graduating high school. She said, "You are the glue that keeps this friendship together." And at first I didn't know what it meant. But once I started to help them out with these different conflicts that are happening and spreading us apart, I acted as the glue, like to a broken vase, putting it all back together. I am the glue, and I helped this friendship. I helped my friendship. So now that you know me, I am the glue, and I am here for you whenever you need me. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, AJ, for opening your heart with us tonight. That takes a lot of courage to do. Can we give him one more round of applause? Next for you all tonight will be a video. It is called You Are Welcome Here.
You're welcome here.
Tú eres bienvenido aquí.
You are welcome here.
You are welcome here.
You are welcome here.
You are welcome here.
Você é bem-vindo aqui.
You're welcome here.
Vous êtes bienvenue ici.
Du bist hier willkommen.
Vous êtes bienvenue ici.
You are welcome here.
Мы приветствуем вас.
You are welcome here.
You are welcome here.
You are welcome here.
यहाँ आपका स्वागत है.
Punying Lehalino.
You are welcome here.
You are welcome.
Ets bienvenut aquí.
You are welcome here.
You are welcome here.
You are
welcome
here.
hope so far throughout this night you've taken away 2 lessons. The first is join a club. Do something cool. Dance. Throw some yo-yos around. Do something cool while your time is high and nigh here. And second, know that you are welcome here. As lovely as that sounds, as cheesy as that sounds, know that whatever walk of life you're coming in from, you are welcome here. And to close out our incredible storytelling session, we have our very final storyteller here, Tanvi. Tell us your story.
Thank you. So once upon a time, I was 6 years old. And like all 6-year-olds do, I was running down a hill. And like all 6-year-olds do, I fell. And I scraped both of my knees pretty badly. I was bleeding and crying, and my parents told me, don't worry, it hurts right now, but it will go away later. And it did, sort of. So my cuts and scars healed up, but in the place of them were 2 white spots on my legs. Now, obviously, my parents realized that there was something wrong. So they took me to the doctor, and I was diagnosed with vitiligo. Vitiligo is an autoimmune disease in which the skin pigment color, in which the cells that control your skin's pigment die. And it's not harmful. It does not hurt physically or anything like that. But my brown skin turns milky white. And I thought this was okay. I didn't particularly see why it mattered, but everybody around me kept treating me like it was something to be embarrassed of, or something that they were really sorry for, or, like it was a terrible fate that had occurred to me. I didn't really care. So I went on my 6-year-old self, my 7-year-old self, and then my 8-year-old self. And one day I was having so much fun. I was at a new friend's house, and it was a beautiful spring day, the first in a long time. So I decided to wear my prettiest dress, and I was so excited to play dolls with my friend. And as she saw me with her warm, kind 8-year-old self, she looked at me and she said, "Ew, what happened to you?" And naturally, I didn't know what to do. So I was like, "Oh, no, it's fine. I just have a disease called vitiligo." And she heard the word disease and ran to the other side of the room. I tried to tell her, "No, it's not contagious. It's fine. We can keep playing." But she would not listen. Now, here's the thing. We've grown up our entire lives hearing that kindness is the key and your words have impact. And I think we've all kind of learned to, be a little skeptical, but at the same time, I think deep down we all know it's true. Every single person in this room has had something said to them that impacted them, that the person who said it doesn't even remember. That friend, that 8-year-old girl, is now one of my best friends. And I talked to her about this. She has no memory. She has no idea that this happened. And it was such an impactful moment in my life. After that moment, I stopped going outside as much. I wore pants in 90 degrees weather. I closed myself off. I didn't let anybody see me because I was so scared that what they would say would be unkind. But we all have the power to raise people up rather than put them down because, we've heard it so much and it's so cheesy, but it's true that we have to choose kindness and we have to come together because you never know what impact you have on somebody else, so might as well have a great impact rather than tear somebody down. So at the end of the day, as cheesy as it is, I think that we should all be choosing kindness. Thank you.
Wow, what a powerful story. Can we give a round of applause for Tanvi? And now, at this time, I would like to call on stage the poet, Faith Richardson.
The cycle of life before. I find comfort in knowing that I came from a shared space. Mom was the first thing called home, her body making room for my growing one. Evacuation from the womb would occur soon. From then on, comfort wasn't guaranteed. Even an umbilical cord couldn't secure a relationship between mother and me. For some, she is the first encounter with everlasting love. For others, she has made trust a foreign feeling. But that doesn't change the 9 months when we were one. Her daily conversations were tummy lullabies. The movement of her body brought fun when our world was woman. During. Life quickly reveals its identity, showing off its hills and valleys, its rough mountain ridges, building integrity. Realizing that with every progression comes regression. The uncontrollable laughter that brings tears vibrates the body, and pauses time, is met with clenching a fist, a rise in temperature, drawing of blood from biting on lips. Every explosion of joy is met with an eruption of anger. To live is a humbling experience. After. Celebrations break out on the streets. People given the space to grieve, their hearts looking for peace. An experience we all must endure. Having gratitude for letting our lived experiences occur is often overlooked because of the form that death took. Flying bullets, whining sirens, beaten bodies, sad stories make it hard to appreciate the life that one has lived. But I like to rewire things. The woman lost to domestic abuse had passions too. A life worth living, children that she was given. She lived before death. Her life had purpose and her death has impact. So we grieve, seek justice, and remember the beauty that was her being. Death awaits us all. But what if I told you that it is beautiful? The perfect ending to our before, during, and after. What is love? It is an action that is known by all, yet different in every eye. It keeps us human. But if it's so vital, why is it never applied? Love has become misconstrued as systems of power have been introduced. The place where our egocentrism was conceived, the inability to acknowledge another being. This is what I interpret to be the evacuation of love. Your people are discussed as past tense, believed to be extinct. Mine are known as the hunted, the prey of America. We live on your land as a country built by my people. We weren't shown love. Colonized to believe that we were unworthy of such a thing, never knowing love's true extent. It includes all living things. We are worthy of love because we are here. Like intrinsic value, there is something intrinsic about love, an action that is embedded into every being. So when asked, what is love? No, that it is not this romantic fantasy that we've all been sold. It is not binary. There is no right way or wrong answer. Love is the smell of grandma's homemade meal as you all gather around the table. Love is the burning of your swollen dry eyes as you cry for another lost black life that you never even knew. Love is the sparkle in your mom's low almond brown eyes when she comes home to you and your siblings after a 10-hour shift. Love is being greeted with warm hugs and genuine smiles as you enter a church that gives all people the opportunity to worship together as a community. Love can be embraced into our every action. Love can change the DNA of our nation, breaking the chains of malice that binds us all. It is our only pathway for existence, because our submission to hate will become our biggest oppressor. Thank you. Another massive round for Faith. That was just so incredibly beautiful. We're just around the tail end of our time here today. I just want to thank you one more time for just being so incredibly celebratory with every person that walks across the stage today. It takes a lot of guts to come up here and perform and share your stories, and truly, I hope it's something you choose to do continuously throughout your time here at UMass, to be bold and to take risks and to join a club and to write something down that means something to you. With that, we had the opportunity at Dear World and at a lot of different photo stations here on campus today to take some incredible portraits of you all. So, with that, I would love to show you the amazing portraits we took of you all. You'll obviously get a copy of it yourself if you went ahead and took a photo, but let's take a look. I so hope you enjoyed that. And truly, what a privilege to get to hear so many of your stories here today. I hope, again, this is just one of many times that you choose to raise your hand and choose to share your stories. To close this out, please welcome our very own Cicely and Ahmed. Come on back.
All right, y'all. So at this point, we would like to thank Khadijah so much for tonight. While we have celebrated and affirmed our peers all evening, can we celebrate Khadijah and Dear World and the phenomenally meaningful experience they have facilitated for us tonight? Let's give them a round of applause.
The conclusion of Dear World and Many Voices doesn't conclude our opportunities to listen, affirm, reflect, add, or ask. The work to foster an inclusive environment and creating a sense of belonging expands when we interact and engage with one another. Whether it is a conversation on the bus, inviting someone to coffee, or talking to the person sitting next to you at the dining commons.
Today, we had the structure of Dear World, new student symposiums, and many voices. And these experiences have given us the questions to ask. So as you make new friends and create community, know that you have at least 2 questions to ask. The first being, what was your Dear World brain tattoo and why did you write that? The second being, what new student symposium did you attend?
And we hope that after you ask, you listen, affirm, reflect, and add. We need your voice in our community.
And now, we will welcome Pearson back to give you our exiting instructions.
Can y'all give it up for Emmett and Cicely, please? And then can you also give it up for your phenomenal peers and storytellers today that so bravely wrote their story and shared their story today? Can you give them a big round of applause? Before I have the opportunity to dismiss you and tell you a little bit about what was next, I would be remiss if I didn't give a huge thanks to Dr. Dave Mealy, who unfortunately could not be with us tonight, but Dave serves as the Director of Diversity Initiatives, and we know that our learning does not end today, so we hope that you'll continue to engage with us and continue on this journey, both with New Student Orientation and Transitions and everyone in the Advocacy, Inclusion, and Support Collaborative. I would also be remiss if I didn't take a huge opportunity to thank Coleman, who is right over here. Coleman is our orientation and transition leader who stepped in as our stage manager and has been absolutely phenomenal. You saw his portrait up on the screen, but we really appreciate you, Coleman. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow back in Mullins for New Student Convocation. But tonight you have 2 really fantastic options to be able to continue having great conversations and a lot of fun, and that is U Play and Mall Madness. So U Play is coordinated by Campus Recreation. They'll have silent disco, some more games, a great opportunity to win an iPad, all kinds of things, and it's going to be over on the turf fields, and they'll also have a film screening of Doctor Strange as well. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to stay seated, but if you're going to be interested in U Play, you're going to stay on the floor and walk all the way back into your left and head towards the turf fields. The other option that you have this evening is to head over to the Hampshire Mall. We'll be taking buses up from the north exit that will take you all the way to the Hampshire Mall, where you can enjoy some great deals, some shopping that has stayed open late, as well as some skating and other things over at the mall. That's going to be up on the north entrance, and those buses will take you to the mall and then back to Mullins to ensure that you get back to campus safely. So again, if you're going to U Play, you'll exit out the back, and if you're going to Mall Madness, you'll go back out the north exit. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 1 p.m. for New Student Convocation, and have a wonderful evening.
All's my life I has to fight. All's my life I hard times like yeah. Bad trips like, yeah. Nazareth, I'm f***ed up, homie, you f***ed up. But if God got us, then we gon' be alright.
We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. Do you hear me? Do you feel me? We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. Huh? We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. Do you hear me? Do you feel me? We gon' be alright.
And when I wake up,